Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Inside Winston Cup Racing. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina at Robert Yates Racing, where a big announcement was made this week on the return of Ernie Irvan to NASCAR racing. Those plans include him running in the Winston Cup race next weekend at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and this is the car he'll drive. Randy Pemberton is in our studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. He has more on Ernie's return, as well as a look at today's Goody 500 at Martinsville. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Ned, and hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-race edition of IWCR for Sunday, September 24th. Hope the weather is good where you are. It's been a little wet in Martinsville, Virginia, as the Winston Cup Tour gets ready to tackle the tough half-mile Martinsville Speedway this afternoon for the running of the Goody's 500. Ernie Irvan's return to racing in a super truck was washed out yesterday, as well as Winston Cup qualifying on Friday. They'll line up by points. More from Martinsville in a moment. Also on this morning's show, we'll have part 2 on multi-team owner Rick Hendrick, who sits on top of the Winston Cup world and is looking ahead to the title. And we'll tee it up for the second annual Rick Mast Golf Classic. All that and more coming up. Today's show is brought to you by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. And by Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires. This segment of IWCR is brought to you by Texaco Haviland Formula 3. Add more life to your car. For the 9th time this year, Winston Cup points leader Jeff Gordon will start from the pole in today's Goody's 500. The rest of the field was filled out by a NASCAR formula. Bill Weber has that and other news from Martinsville. Bill?
Thanks, Randy, and welcome to Martinsville, everyone, where rotten weather has once again caught up with us Friday and Saturday. Limited on-the-track action, limited practice time, qualifying was washed out. They'll start the field on points. They sent half a dozen teams home, and Ernie Irvan's return to racing was delayed by the weather as well. But while there was limited action on the track, there's plenty of news off the track. On Friday, Winston Cup teams scurried to work on their setups before the first band of showers moved through Martinsville and shortened practice. The rest of the afternoon was a complete washout. Meanwhile, Ernie Irvan was showered with questions about his return to racing after his super truck was unofficially timed as one of the fastest in practice. Unfortunately, when super truck qualifying was rained out, Ernie did not make the starting field. Saturday was a frustrating waiting game as NASCAR struggled against an annoying and persistent drizzle that drowned every attempt to dry the track. Finally, qualifying was canceled, sending teams to the track to retrieve cars and make race preparations. 6 drivers failed to make the field, including Greg Sachs, Jimmy Hensley, Kenny Wallace, and Dave Marcus. The starting grid was figured on a formula of points, 1994 race winners, postmarks, and provisionals. Michael Waltrip starts 9th. On Friday, he finally confirmed he will leave Bahari Racing at the end of this season.
We won't be driving the 30 car next year, but, you know, the most important thing, and Chuck and Doug and Ron and I have all talked, we've still got a lot of racing to do this year. And, you know, it's real high on my priority list to go out on a good note. And we could go out on a good note by finishing in the top 10 in points, which is where we are now. And by winning the Die Hard Award, which we're leading right now, we go out on a great note by winning a race or something before it's over, and that's what we're trying to do. It was a you know, real mutual deal, and everybody's tickled as they can be, and they've got something they want to do different next year, and I do too, and we're all working on getting all those plans put together now.
Waltrip has emerged as the leading candidate to replace Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford. Shepherd was surprised to find out he will not be returning to the Wood Brothers in 1996.
You know, it really caught me off guard because Eddie had FedExed me a sheet down saying that everything was the same for 96, and we'd had a conversation back in July down at Daytona when I'd heard rumors about Ned Jarrett maybe getting in the ride. And I asked them about it, and they said, no, it was just rumors. That was an old rumor. And I just told them at that point in time, I said, you know, if you're thinking about making a change, you know, at least try to make me aware of it where I can make plans for next year. And it was just a decision that they made, and Citgo or whoever. And I wasn't prepared for it, but I'm looking for a ride now.
Hut Strickland has his ride set for the next 3 years. He'll move to the Stavola Brothers team in 1996. He's excited about the new ride, but disappointed he has to leave the Quaker State Ford.
You know, I really wanted to stay here with these guys because they've been really good for me, and you know, I like to think I've been somewhat good for them. But you know, it has been a great marriage, you know, this whole entire year, and I hate to leave it, but you know, I don't. Right now, nobody could promise me anything here, so I had to do what I had to do. And you know, I'm really excited getting to go and work for Stavola Brothers because you know, they're good people. I've known them for quite a long time, and you know, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a great opportunity, and plus I'm going to have a job for 3 years, so that feels pretty good in itself.
Dale Jarrett is on the mend following a broken rib suffered in this vicious wreck last Sunday at Dover.
I'm okay. It really doesn't bother me in the car being on the left side. I think the worst thing that could happen would be get involved in another accident, which I don't plan on doing.
A wild ride for you up there at Dover.
Yeah, it was. I guess there's two things. First, I don't remember getting hit. I don't remember any part after that. So I guess that's good. You know, it's unfortunate for Mike Wallace. And the other thing is we don't know what happened. I got loose getting in the corner, saved the car, cut it hard left to keep it out of the wall because I was in all the marbles up there. But once I cut it left, I couldn't turn it back to the right. So something got stuck in there or something. So it's just unfortunate. We had a really good car and, you know, at least had another top 5, if not a shot at the win.
Dale Jarrett goes off 14th today in the Haviland Ford. With only a couple of hours of practice under their belts, this weekend, the chassis notebook became critical for car setup this afternoon. I'd say Ray Evernham has the DuPont Chevy dialed in. As we take a look at the top 10 starters, there's Gordon on the pole. Earnhardt will start second. Dale was 29th there in the spring. Sterling Marlin heads up row number 2. He was reported as one of the quickest cars in practice. He's flanked by Mark Martin. Mark was 5th there in the spring, and he's trying to hold off teammate Ted Musgrave, who will start 5th. Ted is challenging him for the point standings. Ted's best to finish in the last 7 is 10th at Dover. Rusty Wallace starts 6th. He's the spring winner, and he's the favorite today. Row 4, that's the brothers Labonte. Terry's best finish lately has been 4 top 5 finishes in 5 starts. Not too bad for Labonte. And row number 5, Michael Waltrip and Morgan Shepherd. Michael gets a good look at next year's ride when the green flag drops today. A couple more news notes to mention. A few NASCAR rule changes, or at least one, that is. 2 air wrenches for pit stops, down from 3. That will start today. That'll add 1 to 3 seconds per pit stop. Also, Barry Dotson and crew member Jim Long have left Kyle Petty's team. Kyle will start 28th today. Ned will join you in a moment from the Texaco Haviland Ford shops of Robert Yates. As we leave you for this break, here's the rest of today's starting lineup. Don't forget to join us tonight at 7 Eastern for the post-race report.
Welcome back. I'm at Robert Yates Racing in Charlotte, North Carolina. Robert will expand to 2 teams in 1996 with Ernie Irvan and Dale Jarrett as the drivers. And this beautiful grassed area I'm standing in, which is adjacent to their building, will become a building to house those 2 teams. Now, Rick Hendrick already has 3 teams running in NASCAR Winston Cup racing and is very successful with them, and perhaps an inspiration to others who want to have more than 1 team running. A couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation with Rick Hendrick on this program, so let's continue that now.
Rick Hendrick says people equal performance. So far, the 95 results have been swift and impressive. His program is energized by 130 employees in the racing operation, covering 50 acres just outside of Charlotte. And when current construction is completed, Hendrick Motorsports will have 200,000 square feet under roof.
It didn't start out that way. It started with 4 bays and about 6 people, and 11 years ago, and just kind of grew. But it's a huge organization, I guess, in racing terms. We all had this vision, and we just worked real hard to put it together, and then it's kind of blossomed in the last 2 years.
In 1994, Hendrick Motorsports won a total of 5 races, earned $4 million in winnings, and all 3 drivers finished in the top 8 in points. Once again, this season has sparkled with big wins and hefty winnings. But the most disappointing part of the smooth-running Hendrick machine has been the performance of Schrader's Budweiser Chevrolet. After finishing 4th in points in '94, Kenny has been crowned the Bad Luck King in '95. Off the track, he lost part of his thumb working under the hood of his super truck. On the track, part of his misfortune was this frightening wreck at Talladega, accidentally initiated by his own teammate.
You know, he's having terrible luck, and we look at that and try to address what would we do different. I mean, what can you change when you're having that kind of streak? And I think the thing you've got to do is just come back more dedicated, more determined every week.
Has Kenny's situation been personally frustrating to you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kenny's been with me since 1988, I guess. And, you know, Budweiser's a new sponsor, and I thank the world of those people. And you want to run good for them, and on top of that, my dad's team. And so I catch a little heat there. But, no, I'm really committed to making sure all 3 teams do well. And when you got one that's not having the success the others are, you work hard on it. And I'm committed to making sure that Budweiser team gets back to the front quick.
Despite his glowing achievements and the polish of his programs, even Hendrick is not immune to the often vicious Winston Cup rumor mill, which has churned out the gossip that some of his drivers might rob the stable of a lucrative sponsor and gallop into the role of owner and driver. Not so, says the boss.
All of our guys are going to be back. Jeff's going to be here at least through 98, so it'll be 99, and we're talking about extending it beyond that. Terry is happy, and Schrader, you know, he's happy. He's not happy with the way things are going right now, but he's been around long enough to know that we've got the same group of guys and the same motors and the same cars that finished 4th last year in the points. So we just got to step it up. We've got to focus on that team, work harder, and we're going to get it turned around before the year's over with that group.
Hendrick has been an active participant in the glamour and growth of the Winston Cup Series. He has raced cars, owns cars, and sells cars. He's accessible and successful. He's been good for the racing business, and the racing business has been good to him.
I never dreamed when I came into Winston Cup in 1983 that it would be anything like what you see today. The sponsors, the fans, the tracks, just the media attention, and, you know, covers of some of the most sophisticated magazines in the world, from Fortune and, you know, Sports Illustrated. So I can't believe what I'm seeing. You know, it's mind-boggling, but I don't think we've hit the top yet either. I think we're just getting started. We've got fans from all over the country, and they see a level of competition that they don't see in any other sport. And it's almost this gladiator thing with the danger and the thrill. So when you put all that together, you've got a formula for a lot of success. And I think this sport is just going to grow and keep on growing.
Rick Hendrick is now focused on the final step of his climb up racing's rugged mountain, the Series Championship. He has felt the glory slip from his grasp in the past. He desperately hopes to experience the joy of complete accomplishment in the future.
You appear to be on the verge of your first Winston Cup championship.
I wish you hadn't said that.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't want to jinx you, Rick, but what will that mean to you when and if it does happen?
Well, everybody out here wants to win a championship. And I've been so close a couple of times and, you know, lead it during the season and come up second, come up third. It means a tremendous amount to me because I grew up in this sport. I grew up riding in the back of a pickup working on these cars when I was 6, 7 years old. It's always been my dream just to come to these races, let alone have a car in the race. I feel like it'll help my business a tremendous amount because I'm in the automobile business. And all of our employees, they take a great deal of pride in that, kind of the ownership of our teams. You know, they feel like they're a part. They watch the races, they come to the races. So it's going to be a big boost if it happens for all of us. And if we don't do it this year, we'll come back and try it again next year. But it's fun leading. I'd rather be leading than be chasing somebody.
Well, the Jeff Gordon DuPont team is the one that has really performed for Rick Hendrick this year. Everybody chasing him for the championship, and time is running out on them. Still to come on this edition of Inside Winston Cup Racing, we'll have the mailbox, and we'll also take you to the Rick Mast Golf Classic. Stay tuned. The IWCR mailbox is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Our question is from Bill Kemp from Orange, Texas. About pit crews, does NASCAR have a rule determining what point they are allowed to get into position as their driver approaches? When exactly can the crew leave the pit wall?
Hi, my name is Barry Muse, and I'm the jack man for the DuPont number 24 car. To answer that question, you can leave the wall. You can actually be in the air when your car comes within one pit stall of reaching your pit. You can also get on the wall at any point when he's coming down pit road. There is no rule or regulation that prohibits that.
If you have any race questions, write to us at Inside Winston Cup Racing, Box 240417, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28224. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive this embroidered Miller Genuine Draft jacket.
Now, we all know that Rick Mast is a good race driver, but can he play golf? We'll find out when we come back. As we leave you for this break, here's a look at what's coming up next week right here on IWCR.
Next Sunday, the Winston Cup Series rolls into North Wilkesboro. Jeff Bodine is the defending champ, and we'll have the pre-race report at 10:30.
Then we'll profile the Miller Genuine Draft team and driver Rusty Wallace, trying to finish strong on the track and make a late-season move in the points.
Hi, I'm Rick Mast, driver of the Skoal Ford. I'd like to wish everybody at Inside Winston Cup a happy 10th anniversary.
Last year, we were invited to attend the first annual Rick Mast Golf Classic, a tournament involving celebrities and others to raise money for charity. It was a lot of fun, and they raised a lot of money, too. So we were invited back again this year, and Bill Weber could not resist the temptation to go back.
The second annual Rick Mast Golf Classic in Lexington, Virginia teed off with a pre-tournament evening of excitement, including an autograph session that put a smile on everyone's face, especially those able to get an audience with the king.
Yeah, it's been a real neat deal. You know, he hit me up Saturday, I guess, at the racetrack at Richmond, and, you know, Bill Elliott was supposed to come. He got tied up, so come by and caught me, and, yeah, I told him I'd come and try to help him out. He said worked real good last year, the first time they'd done it, and they were just hoping to get it building up. It started last year, hope it gets that much bigger this year, and so it can be bigger again next year.
Winston Cup rookie Robert Presley and Busch Series driver Tim Fedua were also on hand to meet the fans. And Rick did his share of signing autographs, too. The evening featured a country music concert and a silent auction comprised of a variety of racing items. You could even take home a piece of one of Rick's race cars.
Man, look at all this stuff. Can you believe this?
I tell you, I can't believe Rick's raced this much less tore this much stuff up this year.
That's a lot of stuff.
Well, at least it's going to a good cause, but if he keeps doing this, he's going to be needing that medical assistant.
The next day, the tournament teed off under sunny skies, with Terry Labonte joining the field.
Well, Terry, you've driven everything else this year with a lot of success, so today we're going to see how you drive a golf ball. What's the indication?
It's not good.
No.
Somebody asked me what I shot, and I said, I don't know. I've never played a whole game. I usually get mad and sit in the cart for 2 or 3 holes. So I don't know, but it's for a good cause, and it's a lot of fun. So, and Rick called me and asked me if I'd come up here, so here I am.
The field included some members of the media who probably lied to get out of the office, including Charlotte Observer Motorsports editor Tom Higgins and the patriotic executive editor of Winston Cup Scene, Steve Wade. Jack Flowers from Speedway Scene made the trip, although we weren't sure exactly why. Yes, there were some humorous moments throughout the day, but there was a serious tone to the event as well.
That's some heavy artillery you got there. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Severe penalty for cheating today. No kicking the balls out in the fairway or anything like that. We won't tolerate that.
Enforcing the 2 mulligan rule, obviously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have your hands full with this bunch.
I tell you, it's a shady-looking bunch here.
But this bunch was here for a good cause, raising money for the Rockbridge Area Free Clinic, and we weren't afraid to embarrass ourselves along the way.
I like a little chatter when I'm hitting guys.
Don't fall down.
Yeah.
That way. John's ball, I saw a leaf, but I thought it ricocheted off that tree real hard.
It had to. I just didn't see where it fell. Maybe I hit this ball. Max Fly 4? Probably not. I don't know what I had. Also one I found down in the creek a minute ago. We ain't found yours yet.
The Rick Mast Golf Classic raised more than $43,000 for the Rockbridge Free Clinic. If you'd like to add a donation, send your check to Thanks, Rick, Rockbridge Area Free Clinic, P.O. Box 1573, Lexington, Virginia, 24450.
Well, I know from experience it takes a lot of people to put on a tournament like that, and our thanks to Rick Mast and all of those who helped to make it happen. And Rick, let's hope that your luck improves on the racetrack. Well, our time's up for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Join us again here on TNN for more on Inside Winston Cup Racing.
Today's show has been brought to you by Texaco Clean System 3 Gasolines. Add more life to your car. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. And by Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires. Team Simpson is your ticket to be part of all the exciting racing action. Call 1-800-71-RACING to order the 1995 catalog and join Team Simpson today. The official conversion van of Inside Winston Cup Racing is Gladiator by Glavelle. America's #1 luxury van, Glavelle. The way we put it together sets us apart.